This is Water Elemental.
And this is Axis, and we are here today to talk about the League of Legends. An ongoing show where we talk a little bit about everyone's favorite mobile-style battle game.
Apologies for no episode last week due to uploading errors and the fact that Gnar came out on Monday, I think it was?
Friday.
Friday.
He came out on Friday.
He came out on Friday. We had to kind of not upload the episode due to quality and figure that you guys could just wait a week.
Yeah, we had a lot of work issues and scheduling things. And I mean, we barely were able to get together over the weekend to shoot the show, and then all of a sudden, upload issues and a new thing out, and totally invalidated it. And it's like, oh, God, no. So, 4-year streak was broken, but that's okay. We're jumping right back into it.
Soiled it.
It's all ruined now.
Soiled it.
We're just a joke on the internet. It's too bad. But that's okay, folks. We got a lot to talk about this week, so we're going to jam it all in there, and we're going to just shove it down your throat till you're choked and dead.
Oh, my.
We have Gnar. Gnar coming out.
I call him Gnar.
I call him Gnar.
Nasty Gnar, bro.
After that, we have patch notes, which were quite expansive. Then we have the League Cinematic, and
2 new skins, 1 for Misfortune, 1 for Kayle. Both of them that looks like they're going to be for conventions.
Possibly Gamescom, possibly PAX. We shall see.
And some other PBE stuff.
Indeed. So let's jump right into it. First thing, Gnar, the
Primal Yordle with really weird lore.
Yeah, we haven't seen the full register of the character, but he's called Gnar the Missing Link, and he's one of those transformation characters. You know, we have a lot of those. We're going to get some more.
I don't mind having transformation characters too much, but they have to have abilities that are interesting to switch to.
Indeed. And, well, he might have some. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of his kit. I'm not a huge fan of the character itself. It just feels like a Lilo and Stitch knockoff. Which I don't, You know how I feel about knockoff characters. You know.
I know.
It's not too big a deal. If he's got an interesting kit, I'll give him some leeway. So let's jump right into it. First things first is passive. Rage Gene. Whenever he is in combat, he fills up his rage bar. So I assume that means hitting things with abilities. Running around, auto-attacking will build up that rage. Once he goes into full rage, his next ability will transform him into Mega Gnar, which will give him bonus armor, magic resistance, health, and attack damage. However, it will reduce his movement speed, his attack speed, and his attack range. Mini Gnar doesn't use any ability. He'll just transform after a small amount of time. And then afterwards, he'll transform back once that rage bar depletes. So, all of his abilities have dual functionality. Let's jump right into it. First of all is Mini Gnar, in his Q form, is a boomerang throw. He hucks it, does some damage, it slows them, and then it'll come back to the direction towards him. So he can catch that, which will cut the cooldown pretty significantly. In Mega form, he will throw a boulder, which will slow the first target and do some significant damage. And he can run over to this boulder and pick it up where it landed, and reduce the cooldown significantly as well. His W in regular Gnar form is Hyper. Every third attack or ability against a target will cause a percentage magic damage attack, and it is max health, by the way. Whenever Hyper triggers, or when Mega form expires, he will gain a moderate move speed boost that decays. In Mega form, he gains Wallop, which causes him to stand up on his back legs and slams his fist down, which will damage and stun enemies in front of him. His E ability in normal form is Hop. He will jump in a direction. If he lands on a unit, he can jump again and gain bonus attack speed. If he lands on an enemy unit, he will damage them and slow them. And I presume he can also hop again since, it's still a unit. His ultimate form, he gains Crunch, which will launch himself in a target direction and will damage and slow enemies he lands directly upon. And finally, his ult, which only has a mega function, is in which case he will throw a tantrum, and it will toss all enemies around him in a target direction. All enemies thrown are slowed and damaged, and guys that hit walls, turrets, and base structures will suffer extra damage and be stunned.
So I'm getting the feeling of Sivir, Olaf, Fizz, and a little bit of Yasuo.
I think he has too many slows.
I think, yeah, he doesn't really have a hard
He's got
CC
a
except
slow
for
on almost every ability he has.
That's not a bad thing. Sejuani has a lot of slows.
Yeah, well, sorta. they kind of took away the slow impact of her whole kit.
Really? Yeah, that's true. I guess old Sejuani.
But think about it. I mean, Boomerang and Boulder Toss both slow.
Wallop slows.
Wallop stuns. Hop and Crunch both slow.
And then Gnar.
And then Gnar slows or stuns. I mean, that's... I don't know if the cooldowns reset when you transfer. I don't know if they're on separate timers or not.
Or if there's diminishing returns on little slows.
Exactly. So, that'll be really difficult to play against. I mean, honestly, characters with excessive amount of slows. Like, I mean, we've all fought an Olaf who's got red buff and just gone, why am I even here?
Yeah, the thing I'm really worried about is he seems like he's going to be a counter to very mobile champions, and that's it. So if you have a very mobile top lane, he's just going to shut them down, and that's his only role.
Well, that's the thing is most of the time slows end up being, and this was one of my biggest problems on pre-change Sejuani, is she had a moderate slow kit. She could keep folks slowed down to,
Forever.
60 to 70% most of the time, and it would just be as simple as them popping flash or using one of their mobility abilities to get away. I don't know how much damage Hyper's going to do in mini form. And I don't know how much damage his auto attacks are going to do. I don't know how AP based his kit's going to be. So the thing I worry about is that a lot of his utility is going to get pushed into these slows, and there's not going to be a whole lot of damage there.
Yeah, and you can just get a Merc Treads, and you're just kind of like, well, I'm reducing all your movement speed for anyway, so there's a hard counter to you just with one item.
Yeah, I mean, now that you can get the Boots of Quickness to reduce the intensity of those slows aren't as powerful as they used to be.
I do like the fact that he has a good way of just jumping into combat with his ult and just being like, all right, we're in middle of combat, we're kind of poking each other, my rage is full, I'm going to hop in, hit Gnar.
Well, see, that's the thing. You go Mega Form, you Boulder Toss, Crunch on top of them, pick up everyone you slowed, and then throw them back into your team. With Gnar.
Or if they're playing really passive or near Baron, just Gnar into them and just start picking them off. So he has some very good movement, like a way to scatter like Gragas' barrel and stuff, which I really enjoy because we kind of need more. Let's stop with the group stuff. Let's spread them out because then that will start doing team fights. So kind of getting rid of the whole group mid-game plays. So just kind of scatter them.
I think the make or break for his kit is going to be how big the collection range of Gnar is. Like if he picks up a lot of stuff around him or if it's very close to him. Because the main thing is it's everyone near him. So I don't know if near him is like a Malphite ult near him, or if we're talking like a Garen spin near him.
No idea. You never know. Like it all depends on when he actually hits live servers. Right now they're tweaking around his kits. We can't tell exactly how large the radius is going to be until it's live.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this character aesthetically.
No, I do enjoy his voice. I kind of like the little gibberings. I will admit, it sounds kind of adorable. As far as his lore, it's another, hey, True Ice kind of trapped him in there, and then he survived it. And True Ice was supposed to be said as, hey, this is something that should never be broken. It was broken. And this thing pops out. I would have liked to seen some more hints towards the Watchers. If you remember those are the lore with Lysandra and all of them. Give us some more lore about that. Or this could, in some way, this could open up more prehistoric things into the game that aren't weird Yordles.
Well, yeah, the unfortunate part is since he's kind of out on his own, sort of a stranger in a strange land, like, he has no interactions with other characters.
No, he won't.
Literally, the only story path he has is, like...
Lysandra or anybody in the Watchers.
Lysandra, kinda. Any in the Watchers, kinda. And any Yordles being like, oh, we should study him. He might have keys to we don't care. Which, lore is sort of a touchy subject.
On the plus side, looking just out of an art style, not as the character models himself, he is very, very detailed. He has a lot of stuff going on in his face. He has a lot of face markings. He has a lot of things going with his fur. The boomerang's really high detailed. And the model of Mega Gnar, again, is very high quality. So their models are improving, even though it's something that you and I do not like aesthetically. It's still pleasing. It's still, like, very, very well done.
It's a well done, cutesy, boring thing.
Yeah.
But oh well, that's Gnar. We'll wait to see how he plays in-game, guys, and we'll give you a full rating and rundown when he comes out on live.
It's been a while since we've done a rating.
Yeah, feels like it. Moving on to the patch notes, guys. They did sort of a weird thing. They separated
Things into groups.
and the big reason they did that is because, boy, did they mess with cooldowns and mana costs this patch. There is so many friggin' mana cost and cooldown changes. We would be here all night if we're talking about it, so we're just going to go over the big ones. Elise got some pretty big nerfs. Cocoon doesn't hit as easily. Repel got a range nerf, pretty significant. Evelyn actually got some buffs.
Hates
mana cost reductions and ratio increases and slight base damage reductions, which is kind of a pain. Gragas lost a lot of power to his farming. He got a lot of reductions to the duration of Drunken Rage, but like we said, cooldown reductions. Another buff patch for Hecarim.
Yep. Warpath got an increased attack bonus equal to a scaling up to 30% now on his bonus movement speed. Very, very significant. And then his Rampage got a reduced mana cost at higher levels.
Yeah, plus 5% at level 1, and then plus 5% at level 18 to Warpath is friggin' crazy.
It went 15 up to 5% per level from 10 to 5 at first level. So you're just like, well, level 1 Ghost, here comes the pain train.
Seriously, it's really good for him. Lee Sin got nerfed. Yay.
His shield duration went down by half, and Cripple no longer reduces enemy attack speed.
Yeah, so he's not much of a fighter anymore. You're talking about Cripple, huh? Olaf Undertow got the cooldown reduced, like we're talking about. Vicious Strikes actually got slightly tweaked. You get more healing amplification down to 2%, which is pretty good stuff. And cooldown reduction on his ult. We're going to move on over to your favorite.
Miss Kayle, her ability power ratio on Righteous Fury went up by 2.25%, and Innervation has a lower cooldown at earlier levels.
LeBlanc got mana cost reduction because they took the silencing effect off of Distortion. Lysandra got some cooldown reduction on her Ice Shard. Got some ability power reduction ratio on her Ring of Frost. And some significant slow buffs to her ulti.
Yeah, 75% slow on her Frost Tomb at rank 3. Pretty scary!
Pretty scary, because that's hitting everyone around it. So that's a big AoE slow.
Yeah.
They removed the ability power ratio effect on Glitterlance's slow, which sucks, and then some movement speed buff durations were reduced pretty significantly, which is a drag.
Ugh, why are they nerfing Lulu? I haven't really seen her that often. Do they just feel that her slow was that powerful?
Well, it's like we were talking about. You can apply Glitterlance so quickly, and that 80% from the start plus the buff
Good point.
pretty good. And even when they changed it down to be lower and then have the AP ratio, it's probably going to be brought back up again after this patch, but it had to be nerfed at some point.
Yep.
Vel'Koz got some kind of buffs, bigger missile width, longer range on his ulti. Good stuff. Yasuo got nerfed, reduction to his shield duration, and Wind Wall no longer passively grants flow from dashing, which is a pretty significant nerf.
Yeah.
Some Marksman, a lot of just cooldown changes on Marksman, some minor damage buffs here and there. Guys, this is something you want to read over because there's a lot of number tweaking.
Yeah, this is like, we went over the most important stuff.
But literally, Marksman, it's all just minor number tweaks. Nothing I'd get too excited about. Sona! Oh my god, you love supports.
I do love support. Sona got her new kit rework. I've been playing her a couple of times during the week. The way that her new shields and stuff work are very, very interesting. We went over how this works 2 weeks ago, and essentially now her powers give an additional bonus to them, like increased damage, closer range. She gives a shield with her heal, and then increased movement speed to her allies when they're closer in range. So it gives her a little bit more of dynamic play. I really have been enjoying it. I can't really give a good rating for sure. We'll talk about her more next week when I have more time.
Yeah, guys, we're anticipating it being a slow week next week, so we'll just go over Sona then when we have some time.
Yeah, we'll rate her then.
So Braum, pretty heavy nerfs. Less damage on concussive blows. Changed the mana cost for Stand Behind Me pretty significantly.
Yeah,
at early
it
levels.
jumped.
and his ulti got its duration reduced at early levels, its slow reduced at early levels, so pretty crappy stuff for him. Janna got some significant buffs.
Tailwind went up 200 range, so
Crazy.
more movement speed for everybody around her. Still wish it was global, but, whatever. And then Howling Gale now has its cooldown start at the beginning of the cast instead of the end of the cast.
Which is crazy.
So pretty much they cut down her cooldown on her Q
almost
by a lot.
half. Almost by half.
It's going to be scary. But the knock-up duration kind of went up from 1 second to 1.25. So you're going to be up in the air longer, and it's going to be happening a lot more.
Which is really, really good for her.
I need more Janna play. I've always loved playing Janna.
Nami, minor tweaks, nothing incredible. Thresh, pretty good nerfs. They reduced the amount of shields you can put out with Dark Passage from infinite to 1. And the box no longer deals additional damage to opponents when they make extra walls beyond the first. But they will still apply the half duration slow, which is a pretty big nerf.
That hurts. The whole thing with Thresh, one of the things that they talked about during the spotlight is like, try to line it up so they have to cross multiple. But now they're saying, we can't have you dealing that much damage. It's like, come on!
Yeah. It's crappy.
Do you want us to stop playing characters? Because this is how you make us stop playing characters.
Exactly. It's unfortunate. So, some minor changes to GP5, or GP10 rather, items.
Yep.
Frostfang and Frost Queen's Claim both got their GP10s cut in half, which sucks. Nomad's Medallion got its mana cost, its mana gain reduced, but it also grants some additional movement speed. And the Talisman of Ascension now grants significantly more movement speed, slightly less HP per 5, and its cooldown reduction knocked down.
I would take the reduced cooldown reduction for movement speed on tanks anyways. So you have like Leona or Trundle or anybody.
Yeah, that
like
flat move speed. I mean, I love flat move speed as an item. It's just, you can do so much interesting stuff with it. And it's just so beneficial you don't even realize it.
Yeah, it's really kind of nice to have that on more items.
So, some changes to Sword of the Occult.
Wait, this is still an item?
Seriously. Now loses 7 stacks when dying at 20 stacks instead of 6. Because they're rounding up now, God bless them.
Math is hard.
Ugh. Some significant changes to some AP items like Chalice and Rylai's. Rylai's lost a pretty good chunk of health, but gained a pretty good chunk of ability power. And Chalice of Harmony got its magic resistance reduced, so that way, it's less of a must-buy for AP mid. So I think it's a good change. I've always been a big fan of getting Rylai's over Chalice when I'm wanting to be a tanky mage, so good stuff for me. Can be a little less tanky, a little more aggressive. It'll be fun.
Madred's Razor got a new effect. It is called Feral Tracking. Add a buff on your buff bar showing how many stacks you have towards a Feral Flare while you have Madred's Razor in your inventory. Only displays on Summoner's Rift. So it lets you kind of stack up before you get the Feral Flare. So that's kind of an interesting thing they're doing. It's like, hey, you can still build this up now.
Yay!
And then a lot of team builder...
minor tweaks, and then they added those, the boner skins.
Yeah, they added the ponytail instead of a mullet to Debonair Vi. So
yeah, we talked about this. I think it's a good look. I like it in the art. I don't like it so much in-game.
The ponytail, the fix of the ponytail makes it a little bit more bearable. But for $7.50, these skins aren't bad if you want something a little bit more classy.
Yeah, and they're pretty cheap, so
yeah,
nothing to get too torn up about.
Because you have Police Vi, you have Neon Vi, and that's it. So if you want something a little bit different, that Vi works.
Yeah, they're definitely very stark.
And a lot of splash art skins from other countries being used on the U.S. servers.
We talked about this a little bit, and they're finally in games, so you can tinker around with them.
I gotta say, the new
Emerald Kayle.
That's the blue and white Kayle.
Is it really?
No, wait, no, that is Emerald Kayle. Wow, that looks really good. That's gonna be kind of scary when I pop in now. So, I'm still gonna keep the old ones. I don't want to have to update my database on all the skins, so you'll be seeing some of the old ones still.
Yay!
But still really nice art.
Indubitably.
In some other news, we have the cinematic A New Dawn.
So we talked about this a lot last week, and unfortunately it all got lost, so we're going to go over it again here. We sort of harped on it for a while, but the gist of what we were saying and what we're going to be talking about now is that
it's great for the first viewing, but as you watch it, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, artistically, I think it's a step down from previous works.
I like the more cel-shaded. It matches the new Summoner's Rift gameplay, which I think this is what it's trying to emulate.
To me, the effects, like the environmental effects, are fantastic. They're really good. The character effects are garbage. I really think it's a step down from what we even saw at LCS this year.
I have to say that it's only with certain champions.
Graves looks good.
Nautilus
looks good. Draven...
he looked good, but he didn't get enough airtime. Darius kind of didn't get his whole personality correct.
All of their female characters were pretty bad.
They don't look right. Is it just me, or do they not look right?
They do not look right.
Especially Ahri. We're going to bash Ahri a lot in this, so if you like Ahri, skip ahead like about 10 minutes. So... she does not fit the rest of the League cast in this video. Zyra doesn't fit the cast as well, but she still looks like a League character.
They're not emotive. Their effects are kind of lazy, and they're portrayed as blushing beauties rather than, characters.
And why add one duo of characters, being Darius and Draven, and have Leona and not Diana? It doesn't make...
Well, Leona and Diana are kind of against each other.
Yeah, but you could have put Zyra and then Diana against each other, and then took out, someone else from that group and had Diana instead, because kind of have that dynamic.
Well, you could have done, Katarina and Cassiopeia, for example.
Yeah.
Or Kayle and Morgana. Kind of a throwback to the original cutscene.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things they could have done, and then there's just Ahri. Ahri doesn't make any sense in this video whatsoever.
Well, it's okay. Nautilus doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
either.
Nautilus seems...
Rengar doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but those two were supposed to fill the spots of the monster characters of this, because they always kind of have that one spot designated to a non-humanoid. And then, you have your AD carry, your mage, all that stuff. Ahri's replaced Ryze for this one. I think they're trying to go for more the female demographic with this one, and she just doesn't fit it, because Leona's always protecting her, and she does nothing! She, farts sprinkles and then makes the main characters follow her for a bit, and that's it.
I don't know. And just, all of the female characters in this one, they just didn't look that great. And their faces were pretty flat and boring. And a lot of the effects they tried to do with them just didn't really work for me. Like we kind of said, the first viewing I thought was really fun, really enjoyable. But when you put a critical eye to it, it doesn't stand up to the cutscenes. Like the one with Garen, Katarina, Baron Nashor, and Twisted Fate. That one's amazing. I'll watch that forever. This one, I got pretty bored with.
I don't know. Seeing Leona just shoot the laser beam at the very end made me laugh, and just seeing Nautilus just destroy is always a nice touch. And seeing him trying to hook away was always a good.
Well, like I said, that was Graves and Nautilus. That was 30 seconds, and the rest of it was focused on relatively interesting stuff. They messed with some characters that I didn't quite like. I didn't like the way they portrayed Katarina's personality. They've sort of made her very playful on the battlefield, when in her lore she's not really playful.
She takes her job really seriously.
Yeah. So, they've been doing that with a couple of cutscenes. It's something I'm going to be harping about. But
Rengar was Rengar, which is hilarious. I'm just
Nautilus was Nautilus, Graves was Graves. But
Draven got
an
eyebrow raise, and that was it.
Yeah, they didn't capitalize on Draven at all.
Yeah, they did two things with him. They had the eyebrow raise, and then when Zyra was about to finish off, I think it was Jax? He shoved Zyra out of the way, and then went... No... Yeah, it was Jax, and then he went to go throw the axe, and then Graves shot his smoke grenade. So I'm just okay, that's pretty funny how he went to go take the kill himself. I'm like, that would be a Draven thing, but he didn't just get enough time.
Yeah, it's too bad. But that's New Dawn. Interesting. Worth a watch, not worth really critical appraisal.
So we have the two new skins we talked about earlier. The first is Arcade Misfortune. She has two Nintendo zappers. She has the anime hat style boots. Her particle effects...
Cosplay bait! Coming right up.
It is, and the effects are very cool. Her basing animations, her playing on a Super Nintendo, her Q, all of her effects are 8-bit and particle, pixelated. Her ult looks really cool with the flat bullets instead of kind of the round ones. They look like they're flat like pogs, which is really cool, and the effects of it change. I'm really impressed by it. I can't wait to see it. I really need a...
It's cosplay. It's cosplay bait is all it is. It's kind of weird.
It is cosplay bait, but I kind of enjoy the kind of nonsensicalness of the arcade skins, and seeing more of them kind of being pumped out like this. I enjoy it. I like Hecarim, I like Sona, and I'm glad this is a good addition to it.
All right.
And then we have Riot Kayle, which is going to be like all the other Riot skins. For a whole year, it's going to be promotion material at conventions.
For a whole year, it is going to be considered garbage until it's discontinued.
It is an ugly skin.
Yeah, it is pretty ugly to look at.
So, because her animations are normal, where her wings are supposed to be flapping, but her wings don't move. So she's kind of doing like this weird floating animation, and her wings don't, like, they just are positioned normally. So she kind of does the float without it. So...
It's whatever, man. It's just kind of weird.
I do like the when she activates her E, her baton glows like electrical, like blue electrical, and her lights on her shoulder start going off. That's cool. I really enjoy that. But besides that, it's just a Kayle remake skin with a couple of different tweaks to it.
Yeah, so it goes.
I'm still gonna buy it.
Yeah,
because
I know you are.
Because, come on, having like the animations not work is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I'm just going to hover around.
Alright, guys, and that's really it for news this week. There's a couple of PBE things we're not going to mention just because we're running a little bit long. We didn't even have time for Sona this week, so let alone here in Red Post. So we're going to jump into our own section here. Our first question this week comes from Mester12. He says, who do you guys think will get the final Headhunter skin?
See, I would like to see a Yorick Headhunter skin where his ghosts become probes. Kind of like little hover eyeballs.
Scary ghosts becoming robots.
Ghost bots. They're ghosts with just a little bit of like robot armor on them. Cyber ghosts.
Dude, it's scary.
But yeah, that'd be kind of a cool thing. Like or like hounds or something like that, where his ghosts are like hunting down people. That'd be cool. How about you?
Maybe Syndra.
Ooh.
She's got sort of like a robotic tech feel, and like she's like summoning like digital orbs, and they kind of come up. So that'd be maybe kind of fun. Possibly
Gnar.
Gnar. Maybe. God, it would fit, wouldn't it? We could do maybe Shyvana, and it would be like a tech dragon, and she'd have like the kind of the webbing and the tight kind of design that sort of like Nadali had, where it's sort of like the metal,
the Predator,
and then the flesh, and then the metal.
You know, that brings out a lot of people you could really do. I wouldn't mind seeing a Headhunter Fizz where, like, no, you said this last week. Fizz with, like, the trap that would pop up.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, an animal. That would be cool.
Or, alternatively, Braum as Arnold Schwarzenegger fighting the Headhunters.
He'd go good with Sylvester Stallone gameplay.
Exactly.
Yeah, go down here. Now! Jump on you!
Whenever someone tries to pick up a weapon to shoot one of the Headhunters, he knocks it down. No!
Scion. Why
Get to the chopper!
Scion,
that's the one we gotta do.
Well, like when he gets the new skin
exactly.
design.
Headhunter, make him Arnold Schwarzenegger fighting him.
I can't wait for that.
He'll be the 6th commando.
The best commando.
the non-Demacian commando? Why not? Oh, God.
The commando in quotes.
Well, yeah, literally. Next question comes from Da Vinci Fight. He says, referring to the new cinematic, who is your favorite character and whose characteristics and reactions and emotions, etc., were the best recreated and fitting?
Hi, Da Vinci.
Hey, Da Vinci. How's Germany?
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Congratulations on the golden Leroy, by the way.
Exactly. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Good stuff. Nautilus and Graves.
Well, that's obvious for you. Nautilus and Graves. I like Graves the best. My second best was Darius.
He
didn't get as much development. I just liked that he played the role of the tanky bruiser the best. I really don't care. I really don't care.
At that end part, he was just getting everything thrown at him. He was like, well, I just had the sun belch on me. I'm going to keep going. Oh, I'm just going to keep getting hit by every single ult.
It's okay, he has a phage. He'll be fine.
Just keeps running. Just, ugh, everything hurts, but I don't care. I must kill the anime girl.
That's how I feel most times I play League. I have to kill the anime girl.
Just like...
Die is real!
She's like -1 in 20. She's like, stop it! It's like, nope.
I'll do it. I'm mean. Oh, goodness. But that's it for questions this week, guys. We love to answer questions. We try to answer at least 2 every week. If you have any questions for us about the show, about video games, about League of Legends, about what we do, anything really, we're happy to hear it. We're happy to talk about it. We're happy to answer it. So, send it into the show by posting in the comment section below. You can send it to our email, spasticgaming@gmail.com,
gmail.com.
or paste it on our Facebook, Twitter, or on our website, all of which can be found in the information down below. You can find those. You can take a look. You might even have some enjoyment out of it, and we just might use your question.
Hex Podcast is going to be out here soon. We just got a major update. Unfortunately, with a game that's in beta, you can't update it every week like this. So we're trying our best to get it updated as best we can. We also are going to think about doing some streaming, preferably after this next week when I'm out of camp and I have more time. And other stuff planned. I've got a lot of ideas I want to start testing out and do some test shots. And 4-year anniversary's coming up. We have an idea for that.
Sweet. But, yeah, guys, we will see you next week, and we assure you we'll be here every week after, because we love you.
4 more years. 4 more years.
Seriously.
Canceled 2 weeks later.
You know what, maybe. Next week. And next week is the big week.
It is.
Then we got to start planning. There's going to be something very special for you people.
This has been the lovely Water Elemental.
It's been Axis. Why? Oh, yeah, we do this at the end of the episodes. Bye!